Greetings, body jugglers. This is Satek Ananda from the Body Juggling Dojo here in Dallas, Texas, with Mary Moore. How you doing?
Hi.
So Mary is beginning a practice with the basis of therapy, rehabilitation. She has fibromyalgia, and so do I. If you guys don't know what that is, it's a really crappy disease that they can't really explain, like many problems. But the symptoms are a whole lot of things. Tell me about what yours are.
Chronic muscular pain, myofascial pain, headaches, digestive problems,
Right.
skin conditions.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Weather sickness. Every time the weather changes, it makes me flare up. It's terrible.
Barometric pressure.
Barometric pressure. Yeah. I can get anything from blurred vision. One of the most horrible parts of it is reactive hypoglycemia, and not everybody gets that. About 40% of fibromyalgics have that because it affects your adrenal glands and then your pancreas. So I have a hard time eating sugar and carbs, which sucks.
Yeah, sugar hits me really fast too.
Yeah, it sucks. You know, it does something to just about every body system you've got. It does something to your nervous system where you can have, you know, up and down mood swings that are horrible, depression, anxiety, insomnia, of course, is one of the big ones. It can basically touch every system of your body in one way or another. Not everybody has it that bad. Some people have it way worse. Some people are bedridden, can't work anymore, and I'm trying not to be one of those people.
You missed one of my favorite symptoms of it that I know you have, and I've experienced a lot in my life. Fatigue.
Oh yeah, forgot that one.
How you gonna forget that one? Getting tired all the time. Okay, so this is important for several reasons, and we typically record these courses for the teacher trainer students. Most normal humans don't have the attention span to watch an hour-long class of anything, if even have the attention span to go to it. So this is basically for people that are learning to teach body juggling, and so I'm always talking about the things instructors need in relation to this. And the reason it was important to me to work with you is, number one, because you have fibromyalgia, and I know that this can be a profound tool in therapy for that, because if I didn't have fibromyalgia, it probably wouldn't even exist. But because of the pain that I deal with in my body, I tend to move and stretch and express myself in certain ways in relation to that pain. And this bar helped me do that in ways nothing else does. And without that pain, I don't think I would have put as much time into the bar. I don't think I would have played with as much, because it wouldn't have been as helpful to me as it is. So that being said, I knew that it would help her, but more importantly, Mary's like an expert on fibromyalgia because she's had it for so long and she studies everything and she's made groups about it and like whatever. She's an advocate for fibromyalgia. So I know that when this does help her, that she will be a good vocal mouthpiece, a good tribal leader to that group that in a way I can't be, because I haven't studied it as much as her. I've studied how my own body works, and I know what, I know if I eat sugar, I'm going to feel tight, and I know that I'm going to feel lethargic. If I do anything physical that I'm not used to doing on a daily basis, I know I'm going to be sore for 3 days, So I know very much about how my process works, but I don't know that much about hers and everybody else's, and I didn't know some of those symptoms that you mentioned. So that was part of my interest in helping her as well, is that I know that she's a gateway to a whole market of people that would benefit from this. And so this process for me is about really getting a chance to see how this affects someone else's fibromyalgia. Now, you came and did the free session with me a few weeks ago or whatever. What did that experience feel like for you?
It was good. I expected to feel very bad after, because that's usually a lot of times my experience with exercise. That's one of the things about fibromyalgia that I didn't mention. You can have exercise intolerance, which sounds like a made-up thing, but it's very real. When you have muscular pain, that when you do something out of your norm, it can
follows you
for
days.
for a week at least, and even not even just exercise, but you know, cooking, standing in a kitchen, cooking long term, or anything repetitive in a work environment, picking up children. Anything that stresses your muscles in any way can make you feel like complete shit. So I was expecting to not feel very good after. But what I found was I was sore because it's exercise, and that's what happens. But in a way that was exciting to me because I felt soreness in muscles that don't get touched a lot of times. Felt it deep within my abdomen, which was really exciting because I'm like, okay, at least I'm hurting because I'm going somewhere with it instead of just I hurt just because I'm sitting on the couch and I'm just hurt.
Right. That's been huge for me too. I would rather be in pain that I earned than pain, because whether I sit still or do something, I'm going to be in pain either way.
Yeah.
Right. And so I would rather have a pain that I understand what it is and I earned it and I know it'll make me stronger later than that lethargy, I haven't moved all day kind of pain, because that's the worst. So, so before we get started, there's one other thing I want to talk about, and that is the fact that based on everything I've studied about fibromyalgia, it is what they would call a psychosomatic disorder, meaning they can't find it anywhere in your body. There's no thing, there's no pathogen, they can't test you for it, right? And people think that psychosomatic means it's made up, and it doesn't mean that it's made up. What it means is that it's an effect of the mind rather than the body, okay? So psychosomatic illness is a real illness, right? Like, so some people, hypochondriacs or whatever, that's afraid they're going to get sick all the time, they actually often do get sick more than other people because their mind is in a state of sickness. Their mind is in a state of fear. Their mind is in a state of attack. And what happened with my fibromyalgia is I had problems my whole life, but they weren't bad. They weren't debilitating. I went along with my life. At 32 or 33 or something, I was in a car accident, whiplash, boom. Trauma, especially physical trauma, is something that opens the door to that sympathetic nervous system, right? Fibromyalgia basically is a sympathetic nervous system that gets opened like that, and then the door doesn't close. And so
that's the story of most fibromyalgia.
Right, is there's a trigger, some sort of trauma that opens this door, and then the way that your body's in a heightened state when you get injured, so like you get a burn and you get close to heat, and like it makes the burn hurt, right? That system stays open, so everything is processed. Hypersensitivity.
Yeah.
Now, here's the really important thing, okay? I have a book called Pain, the Science of Suffering. And the book, it's written by one of the most foremost neurological experts on pain in the world. He's been studying for like 40 years. And the book opens by explaining very succinctly that there is no direct correlation between physical trauma and the experience of pain. Okay? Now that seems counterintuitive, but I didn't say there's very little. I said there's no direct correlation, because in his studies, in his research, he has guys that have come off the field of battle and have no legs, but they're not in pain, and then people that they can't find one single thing wrong with their body anywhere, and they're in agonizing, crippling pain. Okay? There are people with no limbs that have what they call phantom pain. So I don't have an arm, but my fingers hurt, and they hurt on this side, right? So the importance of that is to understand that pain itself is a psychosomatic experience, okay? Pain itself is a psychosomatic experience, which is why mind over matter works, which is why meditation works for pain, which is why acupressure, guided meditation, hypnosis, all these kinds of things that don't have anything to do with the exact physical structure of the body are effective for managing pain. It's because pain is a mental experience. Got that? Does that make sense? I can feel all your resistance, but trust me, I've been doing this stuff for a long time. When you're dealing with anything that has to do with the mind, say emotions, okay? A lot of people think their emotions are an effect of their life, okay? That belief keeps you being a victim to your life and your circumstances, right? In reality, your life is a reaction to your emotions, okay? There's a whole lot of backstory that I could fill in for you that would make this make more conscious sense, but what's going to be way more valuable is to get on the ball and actually experience it. The point of what I'm saying is that how you use your mind to relate to a given experience determines the quality of experience you're going to have with that thing, okay? Perfect example is Aikido, which is a martial art, but there are no attacks in Aikido. There is nothing in the entire system that would allow me to hurt you. It's just about me defending you. And it's a very good systematized process, and people that are really good at it, you can't really touch them, because any way that you could come at them, they know exactly how to take that energy, send it into the ground, and then hold you there if they want to. With that philosophy, there's never any reason to get angry or feel affronted because someone attacked you. It's not about you, it's about them, and as long as you know how to handle the energy, how to handle it and send it here and send it into the ground and keep it there until it burns itself out, people won't stay angry too long if you hold them on the ground. Like if they can't get up, they get over there and real quick. That philosophy of how to interact with conflict is what I'm talking about. And in the sense of Aikido, it's physical. But in the sense of meditation, hypnotherapy, cognitive therapy, any of NLP, right? Any of these many systems that are about mastering the mind, and how it's the Aikido of the mind, right? How do you take an obstacle and dance with it as opposed to push against it, right? And the thing is, pain is the result of friction, right? It's the buildup of energy, and that can be heat, that can be tingles, it can be needles, there's all kinds of ways we can experience it, but it always comes from friction, right? What creates friction? Resistance. This hand can't create any friction without this hand to push against it. Now we've got friction, okay? So what you're dealing with however many years of fibromyalgia you've been dealing with, I don't really consider myself to have had fibromyalgia before, even though I would get sore for 3 days after a soccer game as a teenager, blah, 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 whatever. It didn't affect my ability to do my daily thing until the car wreck and then everything after that. This is what's happening anytime we're experiencing pain, right? And pain can be emotional too, mental, it can be spiritual, it can be whatever. It requires this, okay? So if this side learns to do that, where's the conflict now, okay? So it's very important to understand that pain doesn't exist. Pain is it's a spectrum. It's like the color spectrum, right? Now, if I'm not used to my eyes being open, this much light is going to hurt me. When we come out of the movie theaters, my son and I will come out of the movie theaters and it'll be like a bright sunny day. This much light hurts. Now, if I believe that much light is bad, now I try to tailor my whole life around not receiving any more light than this. Can you imagine how difficult that would make my life? That's what happens with pain, okay? Just like light, pain, there's not a specific line where yellow is now officially orange, right? It's a smooth gradation. It's a smooth change from yellow into orange. And even orange would have trouble saying when it stopped being yellow. Okay? Pain works the same way, and it's a spectrum, and all it is a spectrum of intensity. It's a spectrum of intensity, and when we experience pain is when we reach a level of intensity that we're no longer comfortable with. We call that pain, right? Martial arts training, Zen training, many styles of training focus on taking that belief of discomfort and expanding it. And when you do, you literally change your experience of that thing, right? So I was talking about psychosomatic. Psychosomatic does not mean it doesn't exist. Psychosomatic means it originates in the mind, which means that you can affect it. It means that you can learn to control it. And that's what I did in my body as an athlete in order to, you know, it's like you raise your threshold of perceived pain. Now, it's easy to say, well, that's not a solution. But if you're no longer suffering, if you're no longer having to bend your life around that little, that you don't want any more light than that, right, then you're not suffering. Mm-hmm. And if you're not suffering, where sensation is, like, that sensation, but if that was burned, that would hurt. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So we open that channel of our own resistance, and when you do that, you learn to transmute the feelings, the sensations, the energy. Mm-hmm. Like, you don't have any tattoos, do you?
I have one.
You have one. So you understand pain, and
I didn't like it.
And I didn't like it either, but I want more of them. So this was one of my most important concentrated experiences of pain. Was it felt, and mine's on my spine, right? So if you can imagine there being anywhere sensitive on your body, and oh my God, it felt like lightning going into my skin, and it felt like the lightning was turning into a nuclear inferno. So it felt like, not like lightning and then it's done, like lightning that's getting bigger. And what I realized was my body was tensing up. And when I tensed up, the heat, the pain got stronger and stronger. And I would have to pull away and I'd be like, stop, hold on, wait a second. But when I relaxed, and instead of resisting the sensation and feeling like I had to hide from it, when I relaxed, the pain never got too much because I could feel it moving, right? Mm-hmm. So when I touch you, that little bitty touch shoots through your whole nervous system, goes into your brain starts telling a story about the feeling. Was it good? Was it bad? What does it mean? What's he trying to accomplish?
Bad touch.
Right. So just that much, okay? So now imagine that like times 100, and now it's going to go through faster, and your mind's going to make more specific decisions about good and bad. And if your reaction is to pull away, that reaction is going to happen faster, yada yada. Getting that tattoo showed me the power of meditation, of cognitive therapy, of Zen relationship of the mind to the circumstance. Because if I did not resist the feeling, it never became too much. It never became overwhelming. And so, but in the initial point, my belief was that the sensation was too much. The sensation was wrong. Okay? So what I'm talking about is a mental tool that is going to allow you to change how you relate to things, not any other kind of thing your mind might do with me saying that fibromyalgia is a psychosomatic disease, which if you can find...
What do you call psycho?
Okay, so that's all I'm talking about is the ability of the mind to change our experience to the world. And I've been studying meditation, teaching guided meditation, doing emotional therapy for many, many, many years. And it's the most valuable tool I have, more valuable than any kind of acrobatic shit I can teach, any kind of martial art technique I can teach. The most valuable thing in the world is understanding that your mind is what determines your reaction, your experience in the world, not the world. Okay, and we'll get into that deeper as we go, and I'll give you more examples. And I would love to know any arguments you have that you disagree with, as long as they're something you actually experience and not philosophy. Because what we're talking about is actual experience. Okay, so we're going to get started, and for everybody that is still with us, this session is not based on Dragonfly. It's not based on reps. It's not based on burning calories. She doesn't need to burn any calories, right? It's not based, And although she does want more strength in her shoulders, it's still not going to be based on increasing tone. What this whole process is going to be based on is helping her soften her body, helping her move in soft, gentle ways that make her body feel better, okay? As we move through and as she starts to feel more comfortable and stronger, I will get her into some rep-type resistance movements to build that shoulder strength and everything. But what people don't understand is you don't even need weight. People, like you talked about using two 2-pound weights or whatever. You don't even need weight. If you do Tai Chi and you do this with your arm for 3 minutes, your arm is going to be dead tired. And you have strengthened all of these muscles just doing this, right? And if you question that, go swim a couple of laps and see how you feel, right? Swimming is the most aerobic activity on the planet. I totally forgot how hard it is. Like last year, I hopped in the pool, swam 2 laps, and I was like, wow, I'm done.
It is hard.
Like,
I just started doing it. I just started trying to do it, and I'm just like,
the water creates very little friction, right? You can't sit on it, right? It's the movement, right? So we don't need to add weight to gain strength. We just need to move. We just need to move. Any way that you move is going to make your body stronger. And if you move consciously trying to do it more and more effortlessly every single time, now we're training the body how to move through effortlessness. And when we do that, we train it in every major joint, and we train it in every major direction that every major joint goes. Now our body has a language for how to do that, how to merge, how to move with in any direction it needs to. And when you do that, this can't find any friction. It can't find any resistance. And even a typhoon won't create any damage if nothing resists it, right? The grass doesn't get hurt by a typhoon because it just goes. Trees, right? All right, so let's do this. We call it dynamic relaxation. It's the nature of all Tai Chi, all Qigong. Okay, so you're gonna hop on the ball, the other side, and get some tunes going. Okay, so I want you to let go of any ideas of doing anything good or right. This isn't about good or right. This is about feeling. It's about feeling good, not feeling good. Okay. So remember, scoop forward just a little bit. Yeah. Okay, so we're going to start by letting your tailbone stretch backwards towards the floor. Yeah, arms are going to stretch out. Yep. Let them stretch all the way out. And relax as much as you can. Relax up here. Let that stretch come down here. Good. Then curl the spine, come back up softly. Oh, there it is. What is that?
Hey, some of the gods.
Nice. Tailbone backwards. Okay, so I want more than just your tippy fingertips holding there because that can do that. Yeah. And curling from the base, curling up. Yeah, gently. Nice. And then dripping right back down again. Softly, gently. Now we're going to use the breath with. So coming up, you're going to inhale. And going down, you're going to exhale. Keep going. Inhale, floating. Exhale, training. Good. Relax the neck too. Good. Now you're going to reverse. You're going to flex the spine to come back. So flex your spine, bend forward. Here. hips. No, other way. That's arching. Yep. Take the hips back. And then as you come up, you're going to imagine that you're ducking under a bar. So you're going to come forward and then arch your back to come on. Yep. Good. And then flex to go backwards. So this is going to help. Yep. And then duck under the bar to come forward. No, can't go back, go back. Duck under the bar, no. Duck under the bar, roll up now. You're going to go straight, and then arch the back and come under. There you go. Yeah, tail that. And duck under the bar coming up. Good. One more time. Good, and then all the way back to a forward fold, and we're going to go into drip down. So from here, you're going to leave your arms soft and relaxed. Yeah. Curl from down here, hips come under, leave this straight, hips go all the way into the bar, arms stay straight, let the spine melt under the ball, yeah. Extend all the way down so you stretch. When you come to your stretch, come into that really soft, you don't want to jerk. No, stay down, stay down. From there, are these arms completely soft? Yeah, I'm going to rock back and forth really soft and gently. Feel that stretch go down either side of the body. Relax the low back and the sacrum. Good, and then coming up, you're going to come up as effortlessly as you can. Leave your back melted over the ball until your belly button gets to the center of the bar. Until your belly button. Coming over. Leave the back arched. Keep coming, keep coming, keep coming. Now curl to come up. Yeah, nice. And tailbone goes all the way backwards, arms stay straight. Yeah. Nice. And drip it all the way back down again. Arms stay straight. Back melts over the ball. Stopping gently. Good. Nice. And up. Melted, and then flexing. Open those arms, tailbone backwards. Yeah. Good. Body all the way down. Arms stay straight. Back melts over the ball. You don't have to rock anymore now. Stretch it all the way out, and then come back up as effortlessly as you can. So this is the format that's all. And scoot your ball back a little bit. It always slides forward, and that's gonna make the work. Yeah, this is one of the ones. No matter what you wear, it's gonna pull your clothes off. Yeah, good. So I want you to feel the connection between that beginning point there and all the way down there. I want you to feel the whole pattern of energy. Let it be as soft and as effortless as it can. And back up. Two more. The arm straight. Okay. That's going to make you engage your core differently. Good. Last one. And fix yourself on the ball. Pants. Granny pants. And pants too. Okay, now we're going to do hip rock side to side to get used to the lateral motion. We're wagging the tailbone from one side to the other. And you're going to concentrate on keeping your heart centered over the ball, like floating in space. No, come back. So I'm going to keep this here, wag the tailbone from one side to the other. Yeah, just a little bit. Good. Nice, scoot it up. Still don't go so far that you lose control of this. Just relaxing the low back right now. So this is relaxing the low back, and it's teaching you to keep your core over the center of the ball, which is going to be of primary importance for you to stay balanced. And balance is the key of all of these things happening effortlessly. Just feeling that center. Good, back to center. Same thing, hip rock front to back. So rolling the pelvis forward and then tilting it backwards. Still concentrating on holding that heart still so that we're activating the low back. Can you tilt your pelvis forward more? Yes, yes. Still hold that heart over the center of the ball. Right. So it's funny that you love Tai Chi and that you missed it, because all body juggling is Tai Chi on a ball. It's all the same principles. Just apply to floating on a ball. Which hip is your injury? Your right. And now combine both of those hip circles.
The circling wall?
Either, yeah. Yeah, exactly. Still try to hold your heart in the center if you can. Now gently make the circle bigger. You don't need to hold your heart still any longer. I want you to gently see what's the biggest circle you can make comfortably. And reverse, biggest circle the other direction. So, in mental mastery, cognitive therapy, meditation, as well as physical practices like martial arts, the first thing we want to learn to do is create awareness. Be really present with what we're experiencing. And it's really easy to say, oh, I know presence, especially if you've studied yourself as much as you have. But every time you lose balance, you're not aware. Right? You're not conscious of where your center is in space. So your relationship to yourself is disjointed. When you learn how to do everything, nice, I love that balance. When you learn how to do everything from that space of center, you're, I hate this thing. Okay. Nice. Are you doing hip circles with your balance, or are you doing hip rocks? Or were you just trying to balance?
Just trying to describe my forward.
Hip rocks, and so that's awesome. Do that again. So can you feel that you're kind of hanging off the back of the ball? So bring yourself to center now. You don't have to reposition yourself. All you got to do is just bring your weight forward a little bit. There's no problem with you being back, but I want you to feel your center here so that when you're back, you know you're back. And you don't think you're centered when you're there. Yeah.
So you are this way.
Okay. Yeah, so now go back to where you were. Wherever you need to be to make anything work is cool. That's all cool aesthetic. Okay, how about real quick? So now we're going to take this side movement down in the side kicks, but instead of doing side kicks, we're doing side stretches, toe touches. So what you did last time was this. This is side kick. This is a lot of core work. This is a lot of raised up. It's a great exercise. That's not what I want you doing right now. What I want you doing is toe touches, which is basically just like drip down, but it's to the side. So it's the same movement, but instead of staying with my core over the center of the ball and this all this stuff up, I'm going to stretch and touch my toe down and come back up as effortlessly as I can. So I'm coming just like drip down, but we're going to the side. And we're focusing on effortlessness, not on tension. In traditional exercise, everything revolves around creating tension, creating resistance. This, we're using the movement to train ourselves out of resistance. We want to create no resistance because that's where we get the most efficiency, the most endurance. Did you learn booty crawl?
Yeah.
Okay, so booty crawl your ball forward. A little more, because we're doing stretches, not side kicks. That would be perfect for side kicks, but stretching a little closer to that. Good. So this, it's going to start from hip rock. Right here, the hips are going to go out and keep this core over the center of the ball. Come down softly, reach your foot as far as you can out.
So this one is going to be touching this one.
This one will touch. This one will be to your knee, just like with the side kick. Nice, nice. Yep. And then once you get down there, really let all of this. Don't move your hands though. Don't move your hands because that's your stretch. Come back up. So the goal is not to get yourself as far as you can this way. The goal is to stretch out from here to there as much as possible. So don't let go of that hand. There you go. Good.
That creates tension, so I thought we would
no, this is a stretch. That's the opposite of when I say tension. I'm talking about contraction, you know, and come back up as softly as you can. Now don't stretch so much, you know, that it hurts, because you can do forward fold in a way that feels good and releasing, and then you can act like you're going to pull your hamstring or something. Don't stretch so that it's creating pain, but you want to get a good deep stretch. You want to feel gravity pulling you down. Good. Yeah. And good. Okay, so when you come up, don't want you here. This is called lazy pigeon. Put your legs in the front. I want you coming back to center each time. Okay. And I'm going to help you keep your core over the center of the ball a little bit better. Your core's going down here, which is going to put more tension in your shoulders than you need to right now. So ready? Here we go. So this moving is what we don't want? We want this to move, so we want to do this. You feel how you're still balanced now? That's what we want. Yep. Yep. And then coming up the same line. Yes. Good. Yeah. Fix the ball however you need to. Now you're just going to go down and up. That's 4. Softly as you can. Don't spend a bunch of mental energy trying to perfect the movement. As you do it, the movement will correct itself. 5. 6. So you pull back. Yep, you gotta actually pull it. No. Come. So when you're trying to scoop the ball backwards and you booty crawl, you gotta pull one hip forward and then pull the other hip forward. There you go. There you go. There you go. Keep going. Keep going. And keep going. Keep right there. Nice. So keep your center line of this ball. There you go. Good. And remember to softly come into that stop softly and up. 7, 3, 1.
Oh, that's putting so much tension on my arm.
Up. So hop up real quick. I'm going to show you why. Remember what I was saying? I should stand on this side so you can see. Remember what I was telling you about your core and about balance? And that when you're balanced, everything happens easily. Okay? So this here, hip rock, about teaching you to keep this over the ball. And so if I, see how this is still over, right? This takes very little energy. What you're doing is that. And that puts a lot more tension in the pec and in the shoulder, because now that arm is holding all the weight of my body here. When I do this, it's not really holding any weight. My legs are being held by my hips. There's no pressure here, right? No pressure, no pressure. Now right here, I stretch, and I'm getting a stretch, but it's not like, right? All of this is still over the center of the ball. I got this good stretch. Coming up is the same thing. All I'm doing is using this part of my body. All of the rest of this is coming from here. Okay? So it's about keeping this over the center of the ball instead of coming up here like that. Now I've got the whole weight of my body is going through this, and that's why you had trouble coming up. Okay? So a few more on that side just so you can feel it, and then we'll get to the other side. Bless you.
Take a break.
Okay. Did you bring it in?
Yeah.
Okay.
Turn off the air conditioner blowing if we could.
Sure.
Cold makes me tense up.
I understand completely. I prefer sleep as well if I have my choice. Cold makes everything contract. A few more on that side, remembering your center. Not stretching out so far that it makes it difficult for you to get up. Okay, come back up. About 3 minutes. Okay. Yeah, so this needs to fold down yet that way. Can you feel the difference in your balance there?
Yes.
Good. And only go as far as you can comfortably and back up.
My hips more armless.
So what?
Hips more armless.
Is that a question?
It's to myself.
Oh, okay.
Move my hips, not my arms.
So everyone, when we do side swing, everybody does this with their body. Okay? And what the movement actually is that. That's your core. We're going to do that. And then at the end, you'll come that way a little bit for that stretch. But you want to think in terms of your body doing this. That's why everything's going that way, is because your core, I mean your torso, isn't coming down to the side. So, ready, here we go. Yep, nice. Good. And right back up. Good. Now, does that feel like that's too much weight or stress on that shoulder?
No, it's a lot better this time.
Awesome. Other side. That side, you're good. Yeah. Nice. Good. Stretch it out. Good. And nice. 1. Yes. Now softly.
I'm trying to use this arm.
This one?
Yeah.
Don't go as far down, and if that's too much tension, I'll pull it up slowly. Now. Yeah. That's fine. Yeah. 2. Three. Yeah, 3 position. Okay, I'm going to help you keep your center over a little bit more. Yep. And roll. So it's almost like this shoulder from here is just going to go straight down this way, not that way. Straight down. And up. 5 more. Fix your ball. Nice. Yeah. And then softly and up. Nice. One more thing, hop up for me, let me show you this. So, if from here, I think in terms of pulling my body up like that, there's a lot of tension in the shoulders.
Right.
If I realize I'm on a ball and I pull myself back this way first, going here, and then there, much easier. Remember, this shoulder is about going straight up and down. Watch, see? So there. Okay, so what you're doing that's making it harder is this shoulder is wanting to come with. Now all my weight is out here. And then when you're going to come up, it's like you're trying to pull all your weight from here, right? And that's a lot harder on my shoulder, and for some reason, quadratus lumborum, much more difficult. But if I start by rolling and then come here, now it's core bringing me up as opposed to my shoulder. Make sense? Mm-hmm. Yeah, good balance, nice. You can stretch further, there you go. And now to come back up, pull yourself like this. Then, yeah, you feel the difference? You let yourself roll over the ball, which takes much less effort than pulling vertical. And then once your core is back in the center, then you use your core to bring yourself up. Yeah. Yes.
That away, and then wheel myself back.
So what?
So come back this way, and then.
And then use your core to bring it back together. One more. Better. 3 more. Nice. 1 more. Good. And hop up. Nice work. Stretch anything you need to stretch. Do you know if we did knee stalls last time? Okay. So I'm going to see how you do on your knees, because this will be really good for your hips, unless it's bad for them. I think this will be good. So from right here, first you're going to get your knee stall, find your balance. Then we're going to do ups and downs. Right here. It's like a squat, but it's way gentler. It's going to lubricate that hip joint. Either one feels natural to do first. There's no graceful way to get onto your knees the first time you do it. Yep. Fall back just a little bit. Okay, so don't put your knees together, because that's like walking on a tightrope. Going on top shoulder width apart. Good. And now you're going to want to come, scoot the ball back, kind of good. Knee crawl, that would be. And it looks like you might need to go back a little bit more as well in order to find the balance. Good. And then if your butt is touching your feet, you're not going to have as much mobility as if they're just a tiny bit off of your feet. So give yourself just a tiny, no, like you're coming up, up in the air, all the way, spin all the way up. Good.
So excited.
Now go back down. Okay. So if you're sitting completely, you're not going to have as much mobility as if your feet are just barely touching your butt. So you want a little bit of extension, and I want you to try to find your balance there. So fingertips. Yeah. Just explore. You're going to find your center. So everything we're going to do is going to come. And that's perfectly fine if you can find it better up. And for you teacher trainers, whenever anybody's learning balance, always be close to them so you can grab them if they lose it. That's good for safety, but also for their own mental situation. It'll make them feel more comfortable, more safe. Now you're going to try low. You're going to have to be in a different place to make that work. Good. Okay, so that's what we call calibration. Seeing where it's at. You've got pretty good balance up. You don't have much balance at all low. Now we're going to do a couple of things that are going to make that balance go deeper. From right there, hip rock side to side on your knees. Still focus on keeping that heart still. That's where we get the control from.
That's some teeth out on the bar.
Don't do that.
Your mouth guard.
So don't try to balance right now. Hip rock side to side with your hands on the bar. Okay, so this movement here is one of the primary things you gotta have in your body in order to be able to balance it. Faster. Faster. Those muscles are gonna have to be able to react quickly if it's gonna hold you up there. Yeah. Much softer down here. Nice. And same thing front to back. Nice. Breathe deep. Feel that heart staying over the center of the ball. No matter what you do, if the ball gets too close, you can knee crawl back. And hip circles. Same thing, you're going to go in a circle. Small circles, perfectly fine. We're learning to feel all the different axes the body can activate here. And then balance is going to be much simpler because our body knows all the directions. Got the language we need in order to stay up. Good, now back to center. And now see how your balance is low. You had it before high. Let's see if it's any better. Okay. Remember what I told you? If you're sitting on your butt, if you're sitting on your heels, it's gonna be harder because you don't have as much mobility. So if you come up a little bit off of now you try to balance, that's gonna be easier.
I'm sure I can balance and keep
Stay that.
leg strength at the same time.
Try. Did it better than you did the other one. One. And now put your butt back down and see which is easier. Well, got that one in about 3 seconds. Always search for whatever works. And whatever works, use it, no matter what I say. If it works, if it ain't broke. Yeah, see, with your butt down, you have very little control over the ball. With your butt up just a little bit, it's definitely going to take more muscular strength. You're going to have more ability to control the ball. But that's okay, because, yeah, nice. We're not trying to master balance right now. We just want to calibrate, see where we're at. Okay, that's perfect. Now you're going to go up and down, come up all the way. All the way, straight. Yep, good, and then down. Yeah, that's wrong. Down. Let your hands be as light as you can so that you're relying on your balance, not the tension of the bar. 3. Just go up and down. Don't try to balance while you're there. Yeah, we want to get range of motion. Need some work on the muscles. Safety for the joints. Feel it?
Yes. Yeah.
Just a couple more. Don't pick yourself. We're not here to get ripped. Good. 2 more.
I think you can count.
I can count them. It's tricky. And last time. Good. And down. Good. And come down. Stretch down.
Definitely the front of the legs.
There, quads.
Yeah.
It's also a body hip flexor. So right here, boom. Bend it, move it, stretch it. Next one, my favorites for the shoulders and the upper back. Heart's over the center of the ball, directly under the bar. Hands are not as far as you can reach, but a good bit overhead. And I'm going to hand down. And a gentle rock here. This is like the rock that you do on Dripdown, but we're going to go further. We start right here. Then when I tell you to twist, you're going to add a twist. That's what this. About 10 more minutes and then we're going to finish with some strong. That's good. And then bring down and get a good stretch.
That's right.
Come back to center and let yourself hang down as far as you can comfortably first. Yep, you want to get this stretch. Yep, good. Good. There you go. Now, 1 second. Yep. Good. Relax the low back. Really open, sacrum. Nice, nice. Good. And whenever you're doing these exercises, don't be in your mind where you're trying to figure out if you're doing it right. I would much rather you be feeling whatever it is you are doing. Searching for what feels good than thinking about what I want you to do. Now as you come, you're going to twist on your side just a little bit. Come back to center. We'll do it this way. Put your hands down somewhere, and you can bring your heart back up a little bit. Back there. So now when you come towards me, twist this way. Yeah, twist it.
Pop my head up.
This hip's going to come up here and push on your side. Yeah. Good. And then twist on the other side. Only go as far as is comfortable, and if you can, let those arms relax. Yeah, so let this arm straighten. Yes. Okay, hop up real quick. So this is something that I see in your body a lot, and it's going to be a principle that we're going to have to use over and over again. Is this, like your arms are afraid to straighten, right? They're always this, and I want you to focus on letting them straighten. You got to remind them that all of this stuff in there is strong. You don't have to do that. Right? You can hang from this arm. Your whole body can hang from that arm. So the reason for that is if we're doing an exercise like this, and your arm never got straighter than that, right? And you can see that tension there. This tension creates tension there. This can't be tense without these muscles also. So this tension puts tension there. Now I'm not feeling any of the stretch down here. I'm kind of getting some resistance work from here, but this is not the same thing as this. Can you see the difference? This relaxes, it relaxes this, relaxes this. Now I feel a stretch. I don't feel a stretch now, I feel like a pull-up, right? I feel a pull-up, I feel tension in my neck. Here, I feel a stretch, I feel release in my neck. Instead of here, I feel tension, because it's like my head wants to be held up here. When I relax this, my head relaxes down, and now I feel a stretch here instead of tension, all right? So I'm going to talk to you about those arms a lot, but this is the exact This is a perfect example of it. So now, when you come to the side and you twist, concentrate on relaxing those arms. Trust that they're strong enough to hold you. Twist one. Yep, good. And once again, when you're coming into that stretch, come in softly, not hard. Get back. And into the other side. Better. So don't move those hands. You let those hands move a lot. Keep the hands because that's the point of your stretch. Yes. Good. Nice. Now play with that space and search for making it feel good to you. Not what I'm trying to get you to do, not a position. Search for what feels good to you stretching.
So I want my body to come off the ball more. Right?
Almost.
Yes, more off.
Almost everything you do, you want to feel gravity pulling you down. Almost everything, instead of using like my muscles to hold myself up, almost everything I want to feel myself hang down. Stretch. Yes, much better, much better. Faster too. Good. And slowly, gently come up now. Curl the spine and come back up to sitting. Okay, so what's the easiest way to get up from where you're at right now? I'll let you figure it out.
Hold to the side and step off. What I would naturally do. That's not.
Okay, show it to me. Show me. Right, yeah, not to the side. So the reason I asked you that is because I remembered last time when I had you come up, you did this, right?
Yeah.
Which is it's a sit-up, right? And it's putting a lot of tension here, and it's not using the ball. You're not, and everybody does that first. And so when I said curl to come up, when I meant that, right, just like drip down. Now, your roll off can be effortless and graceful, but you gotta have the language and movement to do that. I haven't taught you roll overs yet. So, come back into on your back position. Now I want to see you come up as effortlessly as you can. No, not the side thing, the way I showed you, curling up like Dripdown.
I guess I'm just afraid of being my head on the ball.
Well, go to the side, just the bar's not going to move. Okay. So now go back down just like that. So that laughter you just had, right? That was awesome. And that was healing, that was comfortable. You could have let yourself feel bad because you're not doing it right, right? But instead you laughed at it. That's the mental perspective. Now coming back up again. Keeping your...
Okay.
Yeah.
Curl.
So what happened there is your core was too far this way. So you had a whole lot of your upper body you're having to pull. Go back down. This time, and you did it going down well. You kept your center over the center of the ball. So this time, keeping your center over the ball, come up and then start to curl your spine. No, don't wait. Don't so long. Don't so long.
Oh. So humorous now. I'm like, I can't stand up.
Yep. Nice. Nice. We'll work on that more next time because it's hugely important. And when you learn to feel it, you'll be able to start applying it in your life because like the way we get up from a chair is the same. It's the same thing. It's this really clumsy. And I never realized that until I think it was Feldenkrais that talks about exactly what leverage points they make you experiment with how you sit up.
I had a workshop on that this past Sunday.
It's powerful. It's powerful stuff. Okay, wait. There's something else I wanted to do, but let's go ahead and get into our Qigong. So I'm going to put the ball side. Stretch anything you need to stretch. Great work. And now we will scoop the bar back.
Look what is shaking.
Okay, so right here, it's a little bit behind me so you can see me. Step back some because I want you to follow me, not there, because there's a little bit of a delay. It's not too bad today. Some days it's worse than others. So if you can do it from there, that's fine. It'll probably work best following me. Warm the hands up. Okay, so all Tai Chi is just dynamic relaxation. So we're using movement to relax the body. So we're going to start by swinging the arms and see how little energy can you use to keep your arms swinging. Good. Slowly let them swing to a stop. And then as effortlessly as you can, shoulders completely relaxed. Let the hands float slowly up in front of you till you're holding the ball in front of your navel. And we're going to visualize the palms of the hands and imagine that you're inhaling and exhaling through the palms. You have gills in the centers of your hands. Make sure the knees are relaxed, not tense. Ankles are soft, hips are soft. And we're breathing through the palms of the hands, inhaling and exhaling. Now, as slightly and as effortlessly as you can with your inhale, let that space in between the hands expand just a tiny bit. And with the exhale, let it contract just a tiny bit. Inhale, expanding. Exhale, contracting. Continue expanding and contracting. As you think about the three principles, there's only three principles we need to be concerned with in Tai Chi. One, the softer we are, the more we feel. The more strong the sensation of that space becomes as we move through it. The second is the slower we move, the more we feel. And the third is the more synchronized the breath with the movement, the more we feel. So with those three principles in mind, shoulders stay completely relaxed. Hands are going to float up with the inhale, and we're going to splash the face with electric chi water. Palms turn down. Exhale, let everything in the body drain down. Inhale, floating up, effortless. Exhale, draining down. Relax the elbows, the wrists, even the fingertips. Let the arms float like seaweed in the ocean. Beautiful. Now we're going to use the fingertips, going to lead, floating all the way up overhead. Palms turn out, exhale down all around a big sphere. Inhale up through the spine, out through the crown. Exhale down all around. With each repetition, allow yourself to relax just a little bit more. Inhale, floating. Exhale, draining. Inhale, floating. Exhale, draining. Beautiful. Left hand floats over the third eye. Right hand floats over the root. Shoulders completely relaxed. Still breathing through the palms like we have gills in the centers of the hands. Let the arms float like seaweed in the ocean. With the inhale, let both hands switch places as effortlessly as you can. With the exhale, switch back. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Beautiful. Both hands come floating over the heart center. Make sure the shoulders are relaxed, elbows, wrists, fingers. And now we're going to tumble forward gently. The softer you are, the slower you move, the stronger the feeling of that space becomes as you move through it. Imagine that you're winding taffy between your hands. So right now we're building a charge. Everything we've done has been building a charge, but this movement specifically builds a strong charge in between the hands. Like rubbing a balloon on your head. Beautiful. Now let the palms float out in front of you, facing up. Shoulders completely relaxed, elbows completely relaxed. Let the hands float up like helium balloons, slowly and softly until you can feel the shape of your face without actually touching it. See how close you can get your hands to your face without actually touching it. And notice what the space feels like. Explore the sensation of the space. Now visualize that connection. What does that look like in your mind's eye? And with the exhale, we're going to let the hands begin to sink down like helium balloons, but let that connection stretch out like taffy. Let it stretch as the hands come all the way slowly back down to the waist. Hands down by the sides, arms completely relaxed. Inhale, floating out and up effortlessly. Inhale. Fingertips point towards each other overhead. Exhale, everything in the body drains down. Inhale, floating up. Exhale, draining down. Last one, most effortless thing you've ever done in your life. Inhale, arms floating up. Hands come to prayer pose, overhead, and sink down to the heart center. Allowing your awareness to rest effortlessly in the center of every sensation. Accepting every sensation because every sensation is true. And every sensation is you. We accept everything exactly as it is because everything already is. Anything else only creates tension inside of our own bodies and minds. The body, mind, and spirit are not separate components, merely different aspects of the same one experience. The more we unify the body, mind, and spirit through movement, breath, and awareness, the more effortless life becomes. Namaste. Stretch anything that needs to stretch. Wiggle anything that needs to wiggle.
I'm going to do the Qigong before I get on the ball because my quads have been shaking the whole time. I'm like, relax, relax, relax. Hold me up. Relax.
Could you feel the space as you move through it?
Yes.
Good. That's what's important. It's often easier for people to feel chi, like the sensation of it, after working out because the body is so tired. It like naturally relaxes, whereas normally it's filled with tension. Oh, honey.
Not kidding.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say. I hope Tim
Just shaking
raises
really bad.
that bad. We can do it even softer. Very, very good work. Very, very good work. How do you feel? Aside from your rubbery quads.
Yeah, besides my legs are negative rubber. I'm feeling pretty good. Pretty tired, but you know, feel the Qigong is really good way to induce relaxation. I'm feeling pretty good right now.
Awesome. I'm really happy that you were able to laugh at yourself trying to get up, because that's as serious as anything we're trying to learn that we can't learn. That's as serious as it is. Just laugh at yourself. If you don't laugh at yourself, you judge yourself, and then that's the beginning of quitting. That's the beginning of poo-poo. And when you get in poo-poo mindset, nothing works right, and then stuff doesn't work right, and then you quit, right? But when you can learn to laugh at yourself and learn to realize we don't know how to do anything until we learn how to do it. Like we don't know how to stick food in our mouths until we do this enough times. Oh, there it is. Okay, you know. And anything else is just a mind game. You're playing with yourself. So that was very powerful, and that one shift, I could see the potential of this practice for you. If that had broken you and made you feel bad and made you want to cry, then I would have concerns, be like, well, I don't know if this is going to work. But seeing you be able to laugh at yourself there, it's like if you can do that with any challenge that you have in this, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. None of this stuff are you going to know how to do immediately. And even though we make it look so simple and pretty and easy, like everybody thinks it looks so easy, it's not easy for anybody. It's not easy at all. But what we're doing is we're training ourselves in ease. We're training ourselves in effortlessness. And the thing that I always say about traditional fitness is that it's designed to focus, and everything revolves around tension, resistance. So when you train yourself to feel resistance, then you deal with everything about resistance. When you train yourself to move with effortless fluidity, when you train yourself to merge with anything that comes and ebb and flow with it, then that's what we begin to experience in daily life. How we do one thing is how we do all things, and we're always training ourselves in some way or another. Great work. Do you have any questions about anything, any thoughts, any comments, any fears, any hopes and dreams?
I want to be able to climb a tree again. It makes me feel like
Nice!
It makes me feel like a monkey, and I want to do that.
Nice! I love that. Having a specific goal is of prime importance to any type of training, to anything you want, and I've loved climbing trees all my life, and I still climb them to this day. Like, one of my favorite things to do with my son. I love climbing trees too, and so I love that as a goal. I'll start picking a good one out for you. But we got to learn that stretching is the first thing that'll make climbing that tree doable, because this would make it really tough. But once there's a tensile strength, and that comes from the fascia wrapped around the muscles. There's a tensile strength in the body that when we learn to activate, I don't understand how, but it gives us more contractile strength as well. When the body understands that it's made of all this strong stuff, and you can hang from a bar and your arm's not going to pop off, you know, because all that stuff in there is strong. But if we don't use it, then we forget that it's strong. And then we start trying to protect all of it with the big muscles, and that's not what's best for the joints, you know. And in the type of body work that I do, and I'll get into some of this with you, it's a combination of weight sharing and Thai yoga massage and whatever, but it's not, I'm not even concerned with the muscles. I just work on joints. And if I relax the joints, the muscles can't help but relax. And that's where they attach. Every muscle attaches to a joint. That's how they pull, you know. So when you learn to really tap into the joints and trust them and move them regularly, they get much more stronger, they're much more confident, and like every single thing you try to do with your body, you're going to use your joints for, you know, and that lubrication will help. Very, very good work. Sorry to keep you here so long, but we always have to talk at the beginning of the session. We've got to get our heads around everything. So I think this will probably be an hour and a half-ish total with the recording. Watch it and look at all the awesome stuff you did. You'll see some stuff that like isn't awesome, but then that will help you, and you can like start to refine that. You'll see what I was talking about when we were doing that side drip, about how your body was coming over to the side of the ball. When you start keeping your weight over the center, you'll see how that changed that dynamic and made it much more doable for your muscles. And you'll probably see some other things too, and let me know what you see. Let me know what you're learning.
Yep.
Awesome. All right. See you guys next time. Santekananda, Body Juggling Zendo. Peace out.